Welcome to Kitchen Basics 101, where I teach you the bare bone basics as if you've never cooked a day in your life from the perspective of a mom. The first step whenever I'm cooking anything is mise en place. Get everything in its place, get everything out. A, you'll know if you have all the ingredients that you need. B, you won't have to scramble around the kitchen looking for them. They'll all be out and ready for you. And it just really lowers the pressure in the kitchen when you're not running around scattered looking for everything. So first, get everything on the ingredients list out. For me, that's like the measuring cups and everything. Okay, I'm going to be using 2 sticks of butter later for the frosting. We're making a really yummy sour cream cake and a fresh raspberry frosting. So I took the butter out. It's softened already. I threw it on a plate because I'm going to use the butter wrapper to grease my pan. So I'm doing it in a 13 by 9-ish baking dish. Mine's actually 12 by 9. A little bit shy, but that's what I got, so that's what we're going to use. So take the butter wrapper, go around, make sure you get into all the corners and all the nooks and the crannies. If there's not enough leftover butter on your wrapper, which sometimes happens, sometimes your wrapper's really clean, just snatch a little bit of butter and use that. My pan's all buttered, so I set it aside. Then in my mixing bowl, I have 1.5 sticks of butter, and I'm going to whip that with some sugar. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a whip first, and then I'm going to add some sugar. I'm going to whip it till it becomes light and fluffy. If you don't have a mixer, you can of course do this by hand. It's just more work. I'm going to add 1.5 cups of sugar to the butter. Now that the butter and sugar are mixed together, we're going to be adding eggs one at a time, but I'm going to add them first to this measuring cup. 2 reasons. One, I want to make sure I don't have a bad egg, and you don't want to drop a bad egg into your butter and your sugar, because you'll have to throw it away. And I was just about to say, and sometimes you might drop the shell in. It's a lot harder to fish the shell out of the batter than it is to fish the shell out of this container. So I always add it first to a container. And I like to use something that has a little pour spout, but you don't have to. So 3 eggs, better if they're room temperature, okay if they're cold, better if you left them out for 30 minutes. We're gonna add them to the batter, just 1 egg at a time. So put 1 egg in and then let it completely incorporate before you pour in the next egg. And it's pretty easy to get roughly 1 egg's worth to drop in. Okay, then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract or vanilla paste. I prefer vanilla paste. See all the little pieces, the little vanilla seeds? It smells better. It tastes better. But if what you have is extract, that's also okay. So 2 teaspoons. Also going to add a 1/2 cup of milk. This is all of our wet ingredients going together first before we get to our dry ingredients. And it's okay if you see, and it's hard to see because I have it running. See how it's curdled? That's okay. Don't worry. Okay, then I'm adding 3/4 cup of sour cream. So in here is the butter, the sugar, vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons, then a 1/2 cup of milk, and then this is 3/4 cup of sour cream. You could also preheat your oven to 350. I didn't preheat my oven because it's super loud and the mixer's already making a ruckus, so I didn't want it to be too loud for you. Now we're gonna do 2 cups of flour. Now this is how I scoop my flour. Weight is the most accurate way to measure flour, but this is how I've always done it, so this is how I do it, where I gently, lightly scoop it in with a spoon because you're probably putting too much, and less is more with flour. So we're gonna do 2 cups of flour. I'm gonna add it gradually. And also I'm not gonna overmix it because overmixing is pretty much always bad when you're working with flour. Okay, and you're only gonna mix it until you can't see any of the white flour, till it's just basically combined. You can see I have a little bit on my paddle, but I'll handle that when I finish. Then I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, not baking soda, but baking powder. And there's a little ledge here, and that's for leveling off your measuring spoon. So you can just drag it across that little ledge to measure it off. We're gonna do 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Now I used salted butter, not unsalted butter, but I'm still gonna add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. It's not going to make your baked goods salty. Salt is a flavor enhancer. So it's just going to bring out the other flavors, and it's important for the balance. Okay, I'm going to give all that one more. Just little mix until it's combined. Nothing crazy, just like that's it, 10-15 seconds. Then when I take it down from the mixer, I'm just going to take my spatula and I'm just going to clean off the paddle and try to get that last little remnants of flour that's on there. and whatever else might have stuck, but you're never going to get this like 100%, which is totally fine. And then I'm just going to give it one last little mix by hand. Look at how absolutely gorgeous this batter looks. So good. If this cake turns out, this is the first time I've ever made it, if it turns out as good as it smells, I'm definitely going to make it for Easter because I think it's going to be so good for Easter. Pour it out into my 13 by 9, but it's really a 12 by 9. I don't know why it's only 12, but it is. I'm going to spread it out into here as evenly as I can, and I'm going to put it in a 350-degree oven. I'm going to double check the time for you. I'll be right back. It is stunning, and it was easy. I'm going to give it a little tap in case there are air bubbles. 350-degree oven for like 25 to 30 minutes. I'm going to poke it in the center and see if a toothpick comes out mostly clear, mostly clean. So 350 for like 25 to 30 minutes for this shape, the 13 by 9, and I'll be back. It took the full 30 minutes in this pan size, but you can see the cake is starting to pull away from the edges, and then the center came out mostly clean with a toothpick. I'm going to make the frosting in a separate video, but we'll do the tasting at the end of this video. Okay, I didn't want you guys to miss out on the tasting part. Look at this frosting. Are you kidding me? Fresh raspberry buttercream. I made it myself. So excited. First bite is for the people who watched how to make the cake. And yes, I'm using a fork. I'm not cutting a piece. Should I cut a piece? Oh, I won't be an animal. I'll cut a piece. Hold on. Okay, did the piece come out perfectly? No. Have we met? I crumbled in the back, obviously. Look at how gorgeous. So excited. Excited, I cannot tell you. Look at this. Oh my gosh, this cake is so moist. Like so incredibly moist. It's a bright, light, airy frosting. Bright notes of raspberry, really light in texture. And then the cake is like, how do I describe the cake? Super moist. The cake is giving a little bit more of like a pound cake. Like it's got like a, you know, a buttery, savory element to the cake. So I would say it's more like a pound cake. You can taste that little bit of subtle sour creamness to it as well. But it's so great with this fruity, light frosting. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. That was so worth the effort. Love you guys.